popping, I see that you've been learning. And when I take you shopping, you spend it like you earned it. And when you popped off on your ex, he deserved it. I thought you would've won from the jump.
Hey, what's going on, YouTube family? It's your boy Mark, and I'm back with another video. And in today's video, this is going to be my episode 2 of Mark Under the Microscope. And this episode is going to be about trust issues. And if you haven't already, please smash that like button and annihilate that subscribe button so you can be up to date with every time I drop new videos on YouTube, and become a part of this family and join this wave with me and the rest of the crew that are part of my subscribers. So I want to talk about trust issues, and the reason why I want to talk about this is because I know personally for myself, I have a lot of trust issues, and this kind of stems from the life I had to go through. And anybody who's watched any of my earlier videos knows what I'm talking about, of basically me growing up in a foster care system after my great grandmother passed away, who had raised me, and I had moved in with my mother. And while I was living with my mother, I had went through like a lot of issues of seeing her battle with again, substance abuse, alcohol abuse, prostitution, and just having a battle with having to deal with homelessness, and having to see a lot of that. It had me in and out of the courtroom, and that's where I guess my trust issues stemmed from. Because like I told you guys in an earlier video, the second time I actually tried to almost commit suicide was when my mother had when I was already in foster care, after I had left her and went into foster care, when she had sat in front of the judge, and the judge had asked her, well, do you want your son back? And I'm 12 years old, and her sitting, and to have her sitting there and say no, I don't want him back, and to figure out that she still wanted to still deal with prostitution and drugs and alcohol, it really hurt me, and it took a mental toll on me, because this was somebody who I was half of. This is my mother, and then I also have my biological father, who wasn't a part of my life. So you already know that that brings with issues within itself, because he was a big drug dealer, so he wasn't even a part of my life and didn't want any parts of my life. And I didn't wind up meeting him until I was around like maybe roughly like 21 or 22 years old. And that's where a lot of my trust issues stemmed from, which was my mom. And then that kind of carried over into school, because I used to be bullied a lot because I was different, and I was somewhat of a nerd, and I was an outcast, and I was like a misfit because I always kept to myself. I was quiet. I wasn't the stereotypical black boy within school. I didn't care to play sports. I didn't really even get into sports until I was in high school. But like during like grammar school, I used to play with like bugs. I was like if you want to sit there and take Steve Urkel from off the screen, take him, and that was pretty much me. And then on top of that, I was already a misfit because I was dark skinned and had different color eyes. And as you notice, that my eyes are hazel, and I had people sitting there calling me like lizard and animal and just wolf, and and that took like a mental toll on me, because I thought that those differences really made me ugly as a person, because people used to always constantly call me ugly, or they would talk about my voice, because my voice was higher than typical black guys that were in my school. So they would sit there and call me gay and question my sexuality and bully me and just fight me and just do everything, jump me, and just different things like that. So I had to grow up pretty fast. And a lot of those, and like I said, a lot of those trust issues carried over from school, from dealing with my mother's issues, and then dealing with her being witness her being raped on countless of times, and then me even being raped and molested by her boyfriends that she had in and out of the house while we were living. And then actually growing up and having to see how drugs and alcohol really took and flipped my household upside down. Like, I went from living with my grandmother, who was a very disciplinarian person and very structured, to somebody who was very loving, to moving in with to somebody who didn't really care or want any part of me. And a lot of that carried over with me, where it made me very withdrawn, it made me very closed off, it made me reserved to people, that I didn't really trust people, and I couldn't get on with people because I never knew if people had a hidden agenda or a hidden motive against me. Like, I always felt like people were out to get me, that they were out to hurt me. And that carried over with a lot of the foster homes that I was in when I was in New York City and in Buffalo, and just transferring between, jumping back and forth between that, because I was in like 6 or 7 different homes between Buffalo and New York City, which are about like 7 to 8 hours apart from each other. And so it's like I had to deal with a lot of issues with that, and a lot of that carried over. Then, not to mention, when I before I went into foster care, I actually lived with my aunt, and which was my mom's sister, and I lived with her for a short period of time. And while I was living with her, my cousin raped me while I was living with her, and that really hurt me and affected me in a way, because these are people who you would never think that would do something like that to you. You would think that these people are here to protect you and to guide you and to mold you. And when I sat there and came out to her and told her that this happened, she kicked me out and told me that I was lying and didn't believe me. And that really took a toll and a mental effect on me, and it really caused me to distrust people and really give second thoughts to people and how they approach me. And that kind of carries over into the things that I do now, and even into my future life, where I'm very reserved and closed off to people, and I'm always feel like I'm guarded, and I always feel like I'm constantly under attack, because I never know what people think or what they may say to me. So it's almost like being a part of the chess, like I'm in chess, like I'm the king piece, like I'm always, or the queen piece for that matter. I always got to stand guarded. I got to stand protected. I'm always constantly under attack, because somebody's trying to capture me, and that's how I used to feel. And if you can take anything from what I had to say today, is do not let other people's issues affect the way that you sit there and handle your situations in life. Do not give their issues power, because once you give their issues power, their issues take power and precedent over your life, and then that affects your life, because these people are still going to continue living their life. My aunt is still living her life, my mom is still living her life, my biological dad is still living his life, and I can hate them for all I want, but me hating them is not going to do any beneficial things to me, do anything beneficial for me, because they're still going to live their life. And while I'm sitting here angry and bitter and letting their negativity affect my future relationships, my friendships, or my associationships, or coming into contact with people in school, or networking possibilities, or just job opportunities. And I always feel like I got to be under attack and guarded. I always feel like I got to be guarded against people. That doesn't help me, and it's not healthy for me as an individual. So if you can take anything from this, is to never give people power over your peace of mind. Do not allow anybody to walk through your mind with dirty feet, if that makes sense. Do not allow somebody to take off their shoes and walk through your mind with dirty feet, because when they sit there and occupy that space, it becomes too expensive, and that expense comes at the cost of your sanity, and at the cost of your security, and it affects you as an individual and as a person. So if I can share anything with you, it would be that: get rid of the trust issues and sit there and focus on you as an individual, and see how you can make yourself a better person, a better forgiving person, a better loving person, to not let their negativity affect you as a person. And as always, as I end every video, please smash that like button, and also annihilate that subscribe button, so you can be up to date with every time I drop a video. And as I end every video, stay awesome, be awesome, you are awesome. Please let me know down below if you ever had to deal with any trust issues, or if you don't even want to do that, just share if you really care, and share if you like this video. And if you want to see more videos, just let me know. Give me a thumbs up in the comments. Just say, go Mark, we like this series, because I did it a while back, but I didn't get a lot of feedback. But I'm going to continue doing it because I feel like my purpose is to help educate people and show them that they don't have to struggle and go through situations alone. But again, this is your boy Mark, and I'm signing off. Deuces.